Saraswati Mata, Saraswati Mata, Saraswati Mata, Saraswati Mata, Mary Ma, 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 Mother, 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 Be with me, be with me, be with me, be with me. Be with me, be with me, be with me, be with me. Be with me. Be with me, be with me, be with me, be with me. Set me free, set me free, set me free, set me free. Set me free, 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 free, set me free, free, set me free, set me free. Hare Ma, Hare Ma, Hare Ma, Hare Ma. Oh, so much fire. Today I'm going to perform a three round study, which is a powerful prayer that by three round, and it's highly auspicious to be chanted today In this hemisphere of the Eastern Caribbean, Ram Navami, or the birthday of Sri Ram, will be celebrated today. With faith, love, and devotion, you can achieve the impossible. First verse translates to mean, "Oh my, sing the glory of Sri Ramachandra, who's compassionate and who destroys the fears of the world." Written by Goswami Tulsidas, he pleads, "Stay in my heart, O Lord Rama, like a lotus flower that grows out of mud and destroy the evil generated by desires." This Lily Stuti has helped me in my own life in the face of insurmountable challenges. As we are about to begin, if you cannot follow, you can simply repeat it. Om Om Shri Ram Ram Jai Jai Ram Jai Ram. And if you can follow now, that would be great. And you can uh, on the journey with the on the Canada and and the other of the journey of the just but it's just but one intention of day to should be considered the on should just consider the child of the आजाद जशर जाप धर सदा शरति तुलसी दास शन शेष मनरंजन मम हृदय निवास जय राम श्री सीतारामचंद्र की जय पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय अच्छी Om Namo Narayana. 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 Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Namo Narayana. Om 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 Sahana Bhavatu. Sahana Bhavatu. Sahavitam Paramavati. Jasvinavadetamastu. Ma Vidvishavahari. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace, Peace. Om Namo Sadguru Shivananda Maharaj Ki. Swami Shivananda Maharaj Ki. Shivaya. So this morning our topic is devotion and self-surrender. And these are practices of the path of Bhakti Yoga. So, it's quite amazing how in this ashram we are practicing all the four yogas. It is said that Swami Shivananda was master of all the four yogas. Because usually in India, you find masters of one path. So there will be a master of Bhakti Yoga, and then there will be many practices of chanting, maybe dancing, maybe rituals, ceremonies. There are some masters which are only Hatha Yoga masters. And some is on asanas, pranayama. Swami Shivananda was such a rare sage, such a rare teacher, divine teacher, that he was master of all the four yogas. That's why he could accommodate so many different disciples of so many different paths and actually guide them. And so many of his disciples became themselves great, great masters and teaching. And so Vishnu Devananda was the embodiment of all of them. He was an amazing Karma yogi. Look what an amazing organization we're having, right? International organization with so many ashrams and centers. So much sacrifice was there, so much Karma yoga. And then Bhakti Yoga, so devotional, so many kirtans and chants and rituals. And, from the direct disciples of Swami Vishnudevananda, how Swamiji would go to different places and he would say Hanuman, and he would recognize nature, its stones, in different parts of nature, he would recognize the divine. And Swami Sampanandaji many times shared with us how tears will flow from his eyes from just being in the temple or in nature. So it was amazing. Raja Yogi, of course, Hatha Yogi was, he left for us this amazing sequence of asanas, of the postures and the pranayama, this amazing Shivananda classical class, which is so balanced and harmonized. And he was a great jnana yogi. And he would recognize that not always we are ready for the highest wisdom of yoga, for the jnana yoga. That's why Swami Sopanandaji shares with us, he would teach jnana yoga, or the yoga of wisdom, many times through stories in a very friendly way. And when he had to teach it in the courses like the TTC or ATTC, Swamiji shared with us that in ATTC, but there is a very deep philosophy, very deep Vedanta. He would not agree to teach it before the students will collect some garbage and do a lot of karma yoga. He really understood that you can only reach this path of jnana yoga, this true understanding of our real nature, which is the ultimate medicine of any trouble, any pain, any suffering that we're going through. Jnana Yoga is the ultimate solution. But in order to reach this path, we need to purify. We need to make the mind a proper tool. Otherwise, we can listen to so many lectures, only stay as a nice philosophy. But a minute after, we're going to again identify with the ego and again feel all the pain and the suffering. So all these yogas, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, and raja yoga are really preparations, wonderful preparations for the ultimate path of jnana yoga to prepare our minds. And today I would like to share just a few teachings about bhakti yoga. That article from Swami Swarupanandaji, our acharya, our teacher, and one time he gave question and answer, and this is actually one answer that he gave, which was transcribed and put into uh, his writing. And so I'll just share a little bit, but I really recommend to read the whole thing. And you can just write in Google Bhakti Yoga Swami Swarupananda, and this article is online, and it's really beautiful one. And Swamiji says, Bhakti is devotion to God. Its nature is intense love towards God, the beloved, or towards the Guru. So we can also choose our teacher as this object of devotion. It is of the nature of divine attachment. So usually attachment is something which is very bad on the spiritual path, right? We want to get rid of all the attachments. But Swami Shivananda, his last words were detach, attach, meaning you cannot really give up all your attachments at once. It's very difficult because the mind really is so habituated to cling to different things. And so the yogis say the path is we cannot renounce at once. So we gradually uplift our attachments. So from something lower, from maybe tamasic attachments, where we're maybe attached to things which don't benefit us at all, we attach ourselves to something which benefit us, and then we grow with those attachments until we can cling to the our real self, to the consciousness, uh, to the being itself. And attachment to God is a very positive, good attachment we should cultivate before we reach this ultimate state. So Swamiji says it is a type of attachment that does not bind but liberates, because it is attachment to God, and God is within us. So we start on the path of Bhakti Yoga, where we perceive the divine as something outside of us. Uh, uh, It's mentioned here that today is Ram Navami, right? It's the birthday of Lord Rama, which is such an auspicious day. And so the year we celebrate those many different uh, birthdays of the divine and the conquer of the divine over the enemies. And so we kind of perceive it outside of us, and we celebrate something which is outside. Gradually, through the practices, we can definitely see that the divine is not something which is in heaven, but rather it's something deep inside our heart. It's the very core of existence. But it's very beneficial to start, and even though we see it outside, still celebrate it and remember it and put our mind again and again. It's lakshya on this point. And so Swamiji says, God is not an external object to which we get attached. Rather, He is our own self, our innermost reality. Bhakti is real, it is powerful, and it is of nature of bliss. Yet it is also the nature of pain. As one of its own is experiencing the pangs of separation from the beloved. This is a sweet divine pain that is considered the highest form of bhakti. So Swamiji is explaining here that on this practice, sometimes we feel the nearest of God, which means we are connected to our own self. And this is so nice and so wonderful. But sometimes we feel very unconnected. We feel so far away. It's not that God is away from us, it's truly our being. But there is this state of feeling separated. And then Swamiji says of Bhakti Yoga, this will be translated into pangs of separation. So we cry, we feel that we miss something, we miss this divine union. And it's one of the modes.
Swamiji says Bhakti Yoga is a very potent system of yoga. Its centerpiece is extraordinary, intense love that is directed towards God. Is experienced by practitioner. Bhakti is primarily generated by purification of the heart and the mind through the practice of Karma Yoga, selfless service to our fellow beings. So here, Swamiji is explaining that Bhakti yoga is not something that only, devotional, emotional people have. Actually, each one of us have bhakti, but we need to purify the heart. So if the heart is filled with jealousy, with hatred, with competitiveness, with fears, we're not able to feel this bhakti. And so the practice of karma yoga, this service, when we serve others and we renounce the fruits of action, we don't expect the fruits, and we really do it as instruments of the divine to bring uh, goodness and to remove suffering of others, then gradually the heart is being purified. And this bhakti just shows itself. It's not something that we truly need to cultivate, but it's always there. This divine love is there because it's from nature. It's not really something we need to acquire. It's already there. And by the practices of purification, can connect to it even more easily. Swamiji says this purification leads to meditation. Through meditation, our mind becomes steady and one pointed. Once the mind is pure, steady, and one pointed, we can meditate on God. So he's showing us what the yogis are showing, what Swami Shivanandaji was showing, and what we're practicing in this ashram. Truly, all these practices are one. And in the ashram, they're so nicely blended, so nicely combined. We are practicing karma yoga, service, bhakti yoga, devotional practices, raja yoga, meditation, and asanas and pranayama. And then we study. But so they are really merging into one another. But we need to practice all of them because if we only practice one, we don't cultivate harmoniously. So Swamiji is showing how each one of them is contributing to our ultimate purification. And once the mind is purified, it's there. Our nature is there. Our happiness is there. As the yogis say, your nature is pure happiness, is pure love, something which cannot be taken from you. Usually we experience happiness or love, but very short. Very soon it's taken away by fear, by depression, by something which is there to rob our happiness. But our true nature is that happiness and love which cannot really be taken away from us. So by those practices, we purify the mind and it becomes the proper tool for meditation and realization of this nature. So a few words about, it's actually towards the end of the article. This is the Atmanivedanam, the self-surrendered God. Which says the highest practice in the ladder of Bhakti Yoga is Atmanivedanam, or self-surrender to God. The yogi surrenders completely the self or the ego in the ocean of love, which is God. So I'd like to share with you Swami Atma Prakashanandaji, which is here in the ashram now and teaching us. She's an amazing teacher. And one of the times she was explaining this practice of self-surrender. Many times it's not really clear for us. What do I need to surrender and how do I surrender? She said there are two types of self-surrender. The first type is surrendering our uh, mind into righteousness. So living a righteous life. And this is the life of Karma Yoga. This is the life where we focus our attentions into serving others. This is the lower type when any negative emotion, any negative feeling that comes, we put it in the fire of righteousness, in the fire of servitude, in the fire of goodness. And this is a relative type of surrender. Then the ultimate type of surrender is completely surrendering the ego or this identification with I'm the person, I'm the limited being, I have these and that qualities, this is my mind, this is my life. Surrendering that into this ocean of love, ocean of consciousness. And so Swamiji here is explaining the yogi surrenders completely the self or the ego in the ocean of love, which is God. It is compared to a drop of water that touches the ocean and becomes one with the ocean. This is a state of union, of non duality. The path of love starts with duality and ends with non duality. When the devotee becomes one with the beloved, then he or she are in a state of non duality within a state of love. So we start as separate beings praying or worshiping or practicing something in order to unite with that, but we can eventually we become that. The meaning of surrender is to recognize that we're not separate, that nothing exists in isolation, that everything is connected to everything else within a ground of pure consciousness. The universe of pure consciousness, which I am, is the reality upon which the universe of names and forms is superimposed. To that universal consciousness, to whom we call God or the Self, I surrender. God and the Self are one and the same. Swami Shivananda says that God is closer to you than your jugular vein because he is your own existence. Swamiji is explaining that true meaning of self-surrender is recognizing that we are not separate, recognizing that I'm not an isolated being, closed within my own mind with my own thoughts, but rather I'm this ocean of love, this ocean of consciousness, which is ever present. I exist because God is existence. I'm conscious because God is consciousness. I am because God is the self. But God is not limited to me. It is all pervading. It permeates all existence. All existence is superimposed upon God or self. To that God, I surrender. Surrender means renouncing the idea that I'm a separate, disconnected being. As we meditate like this, eventually self-surrender becomes from within. But the practical way to attain self-surrender is to practice the four paths of yoga. We need to start with karma yoga to purify the heart and the mind. We need to practice bhakti yoga, which teaches us how to attain self-surrender, devotion to God, and direct experiential awareness of God. Then we need to learn the system of Raja Yoga, which teaches us the path of meditation and samadhi that prepares us for yoga of wisdom. Eventually, we need to enter the domain of Jnana Yoga, the yoga of knowledge and wisdom. Yoga is a gradual path that removes impurities from our heart and mind. Swamiji is explaining that, truly speaking, we are already that. And so the whole path of yoga is really through the different disciplines. We gradually remove all the impurities and we become who we truly are. So it's a beautiful process. And we're so lucky and so honored to be part of those amazing lineages that teach us how to actually reach this goal. Because we see many people in this world being completely lost, completely, you know, thrown in this ocean of sorrow and pain. We see so much violence and so many wars. Many people are being very lost. And so we're very, very lucky. It feels like we are millionaires, karmic millionaires, to be able to be exposed to those teachings and then practice them, really bring them into our own lives and gradually put our feet on this path and tread this path and gradually have glimpses of this true nature of ours and then eventually realize that and having amazing examples of our Swamijis, of our own teacher, that this path is possible. It's not something in books. It's not something, far away. People are actually treading this path. So we also can go on this path. And if we bring those disciplines and we put our minds, bodies, energies into those practices, we too can realize this something which is so far away from us. So may we all practice those teachings and realize the final ultimate moment. Om, 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 om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh, peace, peace, peace. बोलो सतगुरु शिवानंद महाराज की जय। So Vishnu Devananda